Here's a look at a recap of your markets on this Thursday, the 23rd day of October. Added a few more head of cattle to the feedlot trade for this week. Grain markets, both cash and futures, closed higher for the day. On the livestock side of things, live cattle futures slightly higher. Feeder cattle were lower, but given the expanded limits and yesterday's bloodbath, it could have been a lot worse today, I guess. Hogs closed lower today as well. At the auction barns around the state today, Mocan Livestock Market in Butler, they're done with their feeders as of the recording of this report. Had just over 400 head today. The steers and heifers there called weak to lower. Like most of the barns around the state this week, the supply was made up of mostly calves, a few consignments of weaned cattle, but most short-weaned or right off the cow. The feeder steers, medium and large ones, some 4 to 5 weights at 476 to 508, some 5 to 6 weights at 393 to 470, some 6 to 7 weights at 371 to 406. Feeder heifers, some 4.5 to 5 weights at 410 to 430, some 5 to 6 weight heifers at 398 to 410, 18 head of 651 pound heifers tagged as unweaned, sold at 365. Box beef cutout values, choice up $2.49 at 373.14, select up $1.13 at 354.74. Those values based on 117 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds. The choice select spread at $18.40. Taking a look at that negotiated feedlot trade, so far for the week, 12,999 head reported. In Texas, only 66 head so far for the week. Kansas, 1,397 head. The Southern Plains both reported at 240 live, which would be steady with last week. Nebraska's turned in 3,642 head. Live sales 238 to 240, dress sales 368 to 372. Iowa 5,602 head. Live sales 239 to 240, dress sales at 370 to 372. In the Northern Plains, the little bit of trade that was added to the total volume for this week today was trending towards the lower side of that. Those markets in the Northern Plains steady to weaker. On the Mercantile Exchange, October live cattle 67 cents higher for the day, 239.72. December up $1.35 at 241.17, and February at 240.67, up 30. October feeder cattle down $1.72 at 363.35. November at 361.45, down 277. January 360 lower at 357.42. Lean hogs for December 81.77 down 62, February 84.35 down 87, and April 88.97 down 77. Taking a look at the grain markets at the elevators around the state on Thursday, corn bids were 5 to 6 higher, beans 5 to 16 higher, and wheat up 9. Corn bids in the St. Louis region 447 to 448, Kansas City at 418. Soybean bids in St. Louis, 1064, Kansas City, 989 to 1009. Wheat bids in St. Louis, 488 to 501, Kansas City at 488. On the Board of Trade, corn contracts, December up a nickel, 428. March up 5.5 at 441 1/4. May up 5 3/4 at 449 1/4. November beans up a dime, closing the day at 1044 3/4. January up 12 at 1062, and March 12 1/4 higher, 1075 1/4. Wheat contracts, December 513 up 9 1/4. March at 528 1/4 up 8 3/4, and May at 538 3/4 up 8 1/2. Soybean meal for December up $2.30 a ton at $292.30. Soybean oil for December 50.87 a hundredweight, up 80 cents. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's a recap of your markets for Thursday. This is